So welcome to the forecast for December 2021. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm an energy healer, forecaster, visionary, and also energy coach, helping people to navigate through these energies that are always there. We may not see them, but we can feel the impact. And if you are an energetically sensitive or empathic person, then you might resonate with these perspectives here that I bring in with this energy analysis. Something that I have often called a report rather than a prediction or forecast, because the nature of this energetic sensitivity, being able to pick up on these energies and having the confidence to put it into words, to linguistically translate it so that it becomes understandable for others and not sounding like a tinfoil header. That's something my son has created, that word. Yeah, so what are these collective energies here in December, these end of the year energies? You've probably heard this elsewhere. You've heard me saying this already in the weekly energy tips. We are looking at a very, very accelerated transformation time here. Things are really entering the showdown. The climax of this last year and a half, these last 18 months of a new paradigm arising, new rules, new values emerging in our societies. And I think it's safe to say now that we have all been affected in one way or another through these last year and a half, or almost 2 years now, of pandemic health scares and totalitarian measures and lockdowns and so forth. This isn't quite over yet, guys. So just to give you here this barometer, we will still be dealing with the COVID and all that comes with it. Okay, so it's not just the virus itself, but it is more the stuff that comes with it, the economic consequences of these measures, their social, psychological, mental, emotional impacts that these last year and a half had on us, and of course also the spiritual, I want to say, impulse that was triggered through that. These things are all coming to its pinnacle here in December. Starting with the 1st of December, I'm going to go through some of these important dates here in a little bit. But let's capture the overall energy of this month first. The name, or the theme that I gave this month is true self-intervention. It's something or a phenomenon that one can experience with a certain level of consciousness, namely in the form of a crisis or a sudden event in your life where you're being forced to do something that at the time was a little bit of a struggle, or made you think you're going to lose it all, or made you think you're going to die, or worse, made you think you lose everything that you love or that you have, just to turn out to be probably the best thing that could happen to you, right? Because it did force you into changing something, all right? And true self-interventions, to me, sounds a little better than higher power or something like that, always triggers fears in us. True self-intervention is probably the best way to describe what that looks like. It's literally our higher self intervening in form of these downloads, impulses, these sudden light bulbs, these sudden insights, these inspirations that we are experiencing. And yes, it's also connected obviously to cosmic influences, to universal, larger spiritual beings or forces that are playing chess with us here on this planet, right? And so a true self-intervention is a very specific kind of download for all of you, reminding you of your higher power. And this is something that we can feel when we feel into who am I, why am I here, what is my purpose? Because there's something in us that, regardless of what our spiritual belief system is, that reminds us that we have something beyond just our physical. It's our consciousness, yeah, and our consciousness links us into our soul. And the true self is the communicator, the translator between these levels, these dimensions of ourselves. Okay, so without going too far into the esoterics, it's really about us recognizing that there is a constant connection, there's a constant communication between, well, if you will, the lower self that I'm experiencing here in form of this human body, this human, you know, the having this human psyche and this human experience with my higher self, yeah, which is basically also, you know, a fractal of the divine self or the divine power. Okay, and so there is this messaging between those different dimensions of myself, and the true self is the one closest to us. It constantly communicates with us. It constantly sends us signals, yeah, and impulses through our body, through our emotions, through our thoughts, and through our spiritual, etheric, and energetic perception. And if you will, your energetic sensitivity is a big part of that. Yeah, it is basically true self-send, okay, for you to increase your bandwidth of what it is that you're perceiving. And if you have experienced your own energetic sensitivity as a bit of a curse in the past, this will be different now for you, because you realize that this is exactly what it is that is needed to discern truth, to be able to see through all these manipulations, noble lies, and mind control, propaganda, messaging, yeah, that are also out there that create all this mental noise in us, yeah, or emotional and physical noise as well, as we have now experienced in the last year and a half, 2 years, yeah, namely through triggering our nervous system into fear. All right, and this is then when our lower self basically takes over, and it's very, very difficult to follow through with a higher intention, with a higher potential, when, yeah, the lower aspect, the lower expression of our humanness is triggered. And this is why, yeah, we have been, well, told, okay, why we have been getting this impulse to do something in these past decades, and that is to investigate, to explore the nature of our consciousness, and to systematically learn how to sense, how to feel, and how to think for ourselves on our own, yeah, to lead us into higher levels of independence, yeah, and ability to discern truth. And this is now coming to fruition, if you will, in December, because right here is where we need it. You have already been seeing this in the last year. Okay, how much? Well, actually, this has been going on for longer, so it was visible. But those of us who've had early training, okay, that where this is going to go, but you are now seeing, okay, that without this ability to discern truth, you become a victim of your mental noise, your emotional noise, and your physical, your nervous system, and all the anxiety and depression and fear, yeah, that comes with that. And obviously there's other expressions, but not to confuse you here, our emotions are also signals. So just because you're feeling angry or you're feeling fearful or you're feeling guilty doesn't mean that you are a lower self or a lower being. It just means that you are under the influence of a lower vibrational field and that you need to have, or that you need discipline, yeah, to withstand that or to let go of that compulsion to follow it. Okay, so our lower self, our lower potential is based on instincts and compulsions, and our higher potential is not defined nor restricted by what our potential could be, yeah, by, you know, how good we could be or how ideal we could be or how pretty we could be or how rich we could be. Yeah. So this is a bit against all the sociological theories here. From a spiritual point of view, the only restriction that we have is the choices that we make. And so it's a logical consequence, yeah, to work on the quality of our choices if we want to access the power to manifest or to embody our higher potential. So guys, it's not about what happens to us, it's how we handle this. And in December, it's very important that you remember this, because this is fate now playing out, guys. You understand? You're going to get there no matter what. But you're going to decide how you get there. All of you. You're going to have to consciously choose how you're going to get there, even though you don't know what the there is yet. So that's a little bit of a well, it's both the silver lining and the challenge. If you let go, you'll feel support. The more you try to control, it's like a Chinese finger trap. Okay, it gets harder the more you try to control it. Your spirit is always exactly where it needs to be. You are always exactly where you need to be. Trust in it. You're exactly where you need to be, and you just need to remember to be. The meaning of what you're seeing on your screen here right now is significant for December. And that is, remember, the spiritual world sees you as a powerful being. Even though we have to, and maybe because, I don't know, but yeah, despite of having to accept that this human form, okay, is complex, challenging, and limited. Yeah. But the true spiritual being that we are, because I think we've all established that there is something like a soul in us, and a soul is a spirit being, that is not a physical material being. Okay, that soul in us, that spiritual entity, that's a powerful one. Yeah. And even if we don't understand the purpose of this physical experience, yes, some look at it as a punishment. I don't. I see it as a choice, and I see the purpose of it. And that has made me recognize, I'm not talking about me as a person, I mean this as a person with an I am awareness, has me recognized the power behind it, the power in me. Experiencing ourselves as sinners, experiencing ourselves as flawed, which then brings in guilt, and guilt brings in judgment, and judgment brings in fear, and Well, fear triggers shadow. All right, and so this cycle continues in us. Now, this is also relevant for December. We need to bust through that cycle. That cycle in and of itself is what produces this repeating karma for us. So in this moment, when you can see that, when you can recontextualize that, when you can separate or discern content, yeah, what you say, what you do, from context, yeah, that in that moment, you know, say your survival or your anger or something that is not processed yet, something that you haven't really accepted as part of yourself. Yeah. So shadow aspects are the unloved aspects of yourself. So it's really all just a matter of acknowledging them, accepting them, and then moving on. That's how we let go, even of these perceived flaws. These contemplations, guys, here as Sacred Self-Healing Community are very important now for December. All right, because we will experience a shit show. We will experience a showdown, a dead end, a total sort of disaster. Okay, and not like in the sense of apocalypse, but in the sense of nothing will make sense. Nothing will make sense if you see it through, well, I want to say the eyes of your ego. All right. So we're going to be forced to recontextualize. That said, let's work with these energies a little bit. Yeah. Some of these interventions may sound like this in your own head. I trust in myself because I know who I am. I know who I am through knowing what I need. Yeah. Knowing what makes me feel safe, knowing how I want things, how I want, yeah, my needs and you know, all these essentials, yeah, that I want in my life to be, and where I'm going with this, what the direction, what the purpose is. That is what allows me to trust in myself. I do not need to know how it's all going to unfold. I just need to know that I will be able to handle no matter what. It is this real-time navigation that we need to learn to trust in. And how does this trust develop in us? By following our inner guidance. And that is what those of you who have been working on this will actually feel very, very strongly in December. And there's a huge potential here for all of you who are willing to trust in your inner guidance, even though you don't know yet where this is going to lead. You just know that it's true, that it's right for you, and you act accordingly. Intervention number 2, I can trust in my vision even though I don't know yet how it's going to play out. So in December, it's very important that we connect with our future self, with our future vision. We need to go beyond this shit show, okay? You cannot get distracted by this, even if it's affecting you in ways. There's very, very direct impact, yeah, of this. In some of our countries more than in others, yeah, issues with energy supply, issues with general supply chains, issues with safety, okay, and obviously health issues, although those are more likely, you know, blown out of proportion, triggering this collective trauma programming that we have. So we need to be able to look beyond that. We need to be able to see ourselves beyond, let's say, January, February, March. Okay, so March is kind of like the time where things are going to shift in regards to COVID, and May will bring the manifestation of it. So guys, this is a bit of a marathon here for all of us. But if you have been able to discern all this, then it hasn't really impacted you that much anyway, because this is in your conscious choice, right? So you need to see yourself beyond that, and that means that you have to really work with a strategy, with a plan for the future, especially in financial matters, yeah, because the energies that are coming in right now are very much related to value, to money, to the resources, and you know, the getting and the havingness of these things. And obviously that always relates to our needs. And there's a lot of you know, sort of maybe having to cut down or reducing our needs, and there's movements already that you can see is that here in sort of the Wokian uh, mainstream media, yeah, to not really needing that much anymore, all right? But in order to get to that place that you don't feel like you're missing out or that you don't need that much anymore, you need to have proper discernment, guys, and that is you need to know what you need to feel safe, all right? And this is what's being messed with. So your job here is really to see yourself through, no matter how bleak it's going to look like in a certain moment. Okay, so remember this. This is a quote from a movie that I just watched with my kids. Impossibilities are possibilities not understood yet. Whenever you are in a situation where you think this is impossible to resolve, think of these words. Impossibilities are possibilities not understood yet. It's very, very beautiful. If you're interested in the movie, it was the movie The Boy Called Christmas. Intervention number 3, that is the reminder to stay neutral, the reminder to let go of judgment, because judgment is what creates all this duality in us. Yeah, this pro or con, or you know, good or bad, or saint or sinner, or left or right. Okay, if we can let go of our judgment, we can let go of this separation, this duality between those seemingly binary worldviews. Okay, judgment keeps me imprisoned in fear. Yeah, so judgment is what feeds fear. There's other things that feed fear, but judgment for most of you guys, it's the main source of your fear. Yeah, and a specific form of judgment is particularly malignant for your true self, and that is self-judgment. Okay, so the intervention here is your true self reminding you to let go of your own judgment. And this can play out in beautiful ways, in ways where we suddenly recognize that we're all in this together. These last year and a half have also bonded us. They've also brought us more together. We're now seeing, especially now here in late November 2021, how this adversity, yeah, through all these government rules, lockdowns, mandates, and so forth, how that is uniting us, how that is bonding us. So letting go of judgment also helps us to embrace the we, yeah? Helps us to embrace togetherness, helps us to embrace connection with others more. We just need to learn to discern more. All right, that's still our challenge here for December. And intervention number 4, and that seems like a recursive sentence. Because I trusted in my vision, I can trust in myself. Many of you feed yourself still with the doubt that you cannot trust in yourself, yeah, or that you cannot trust in you fulfilling your vision, okay, because you've betrayed yourself or didn't work out in the past. And that's what you use as an excuse or justification to not develop a vision. Or you develop a vision that is so high up there, yeah, that It is a completely unrealistic expectation, and one that has to do with perfectionism, one that has to do with performing, comparing, and competing. And that too needs to be let go of. So you need to come up with your own vision that is not in comparison or competition with somebody else, that comes out of you, just you. Yeah, out of your inner guidance, out of your true self informing you, what is true to you, matters to you, and what you prefer. And out of that then develops vision, and out of vision develops purpose. And out of purpose develops trust. So you need to understand that if you don't stand for anything, you're going to get swept away by everything. Okay? Making a stance for yourself, for your vision, even if you don't know yet how it's going to work out. Yeah. But if it's true from within yourself, you need to follow it. And that act, that choice is what's going to help you to trust in yourself with every step. And it is a step-by-step journey. Yeah, learning how to trust in yourself. Every single time you trust in your true self-guidance, in your inner vision, you learn to trust more, and things become easier, and the vision becomes clearer, and purpose is revealed. Chakra wise, energetically here in December, guys, there's obviously a lot going on. There's a lot of different energetic aspects, but the most impactful collective energies we'll feel here in the spiritual, isn't this interesting, has to do with believing in ourselves, and also giving things value. Yeah, like, how do I see this? What is my value system here? Yes, that's also has to do with integrity and the physical. So this is very, very important that we anchor that into the physical, or else it's just some kind of ideal or mental construct. It cannot just be a mental construct, guys. It has to be embodied. It has to be brought into the physical. It has to be translated. It's like a dream when you wake up from a dream. Yeah, and it's like a fleeting thing. If you don't write it down, or if you don't talk about it, it sort of poofs away. The moment you give it words, the moment you draw a picture, the moment you share your experience with somebody, it is anchored. And as it is anchored in that way, as it was translated, yeah, into the logos, it became real. Yeah, if you don't do that, you'll forget your dreams. How many times has that happened to you? You wake up in the morning and you have this really cool dream and this really cool vision, and then by the end of the day, it's gone. Yeah, that's because it wasn't translated, and it isn't about perfect. It isn't about being able to know exactly how to do this. It's about translating it. It's about keeping it in this alchemical transformation at all times. Yes, obviously I'm going to report about these collective energies as we go through the weeks. Yeah, so in those Friday energy updates and energy tips, I go more detailed into the weeks and days. On our Wednesday energy talk, I discuss these things with those of you who come to these live events. So there's a lot of opportunity to dive deeper into this, but overall here for the month of December, we are looking at some quite explosive events, guys, and that's right at the beginning of the month. Now, these explosive events, some of them are actually physical, so this could actually indicate, they also feel electrical, so it could be actual explosions, or it could be like a transformer blowing out, so it could have something to do with the power grids, but it could also have something to do with attacks, and it could be all three of them. Yeah, who knows? We'll see. This will play out rather early here. I'll give you the dates in a moment. some of it is also in form of announcements, in form of declarations that are coming toward us. This isn't so unexpected now. Europe is heading into a lockdown, but we are already being primed here with this fear of Omicron, of the Omicron strain of the coronavirus. Yeah, that we now really have to be scared. Okay, and that triggers a lot of these lower expressions in us. Yeah, so obviously there's a lot of physical discipline needed, not only these self-healing techniques that we can apply, but also really just staying calm. Yeah. Remember, it's not about what happens, it's about how you handle what happens. So if you can focus on how you handle it, yeah, and train yourself to stay calm in all of that, it will be a lot easier for you to see through them. Okay. Unrest, protests, yes, this is something we are starting to get used to. Interestingly, not quite fully reported in the news, but if you go to my forum, you can see this is going on worldwide. Yeah, and these protests, unfortunately, also being misused by certain political factions. So yes, they're going to turn into unrests, and yes, it's going to lead to, in some countries, to, well, almost like revolutionary war-like circumstances. Unfortunately, that's part of my prediction for December, that we're going to witness this in some of our countries here in December. All right. But at the same time, there will also be new possibilities that are opening up. They will sound or feel or look improbable at first, but if those of you who can see through that recognize the power of these new models that are coming in, these new paradigms, all right, then you will also be able to see the possibility in that not yet understood possibility. All right. Yes, lockdowns, dead ends. Lots of these things are changing our experience here of the holidays this year. So I'm not saying, get, your bags of rice and stuff like that, although you should always have what you need to feel safe, okay, in your pantry, if you will. All right, but this is coming to a closure, guys, and it's unfortunately coming through to a closure through these explosive events. So it's almost like, sort of this bigger intervention. Yeah, and this bigger intervention, interestingly, feels like a cosmic or universal intervention. All right, this would not surprise me if it had something to do with extraterrestrial or outer dimensional, I don't know, sightings or findings. Yeah, so this could be this could come forward just through within ourselves as these true self interventions, but it is actually quite possible that it also comes in physical form. Yeah, maybe evidence of new life or new life forms or something like that. Something big that changes our understanding, and especially our spiritual understanding of ourselves as humans. This could also be something very dark. All right, so yeah, I'm obviously trying to prepare you for, well, something that we cannot imagine yet. And I know the limitations of predictions is always that we cannot really know what it feels like, yeah, until we are in that situation. And so I'd rather encourage you to actually focus on your present moment awareness and your conscious choices rather than trying to control these events, which will be hardly possible. There are some aspects of that we can do, and that is we can take measures for our financial safety, yeah, because this re-evaluating of money, hyperinflation, the new, dollar value through. Yeah, by the way, we're most likely going to have more stimulus checks or wires or whatever those are called in your societies, in your countries here by the end of December, announced coming in January, okay, which will further drive this re-evaluation of money into the direction of inflation. So that machine, that boulder, yeah, is rolling, guys. It's rolling right at us. So there is obviously things you can do, namely translating, yeah, transforming your money into different kinds of alchemical versions, different kinds of values, yeah, intrinsic values, or wherever you have your money right now, yeah, to find a way to diversify, to find a way to hedge inflation, yeah. And we've talked about this for years and years. Obviously, intrinsic values are always the first choice, precious metals, and for some of you, cryptocurrencies, which I continue to recommend here. We are going through this correction phase that I have announced in September. This cycle will last until yeah, like the 21st of January. So yeah, don't shoot me. I'm just a messenger here. But this crypto development, this downward, this bearish development is going to continue till January, and then yeah, to the moon. All right. Yeah. So new paradigms, new mindsets are marching in, and in a way that we never thought it would be possible, guys. So this is literally a month, yeah, these next 4 to 6 weeks, a month of radical transformation. Okay. So by not quite yet when I do the forecast for January, but more so like by the mid of January, we're going to be talking about things that you would have not seen as possible, or you're not seeing possible right now. So this accelerated transformation is quite an interesting ride. Okay. Yes, the challenges here and the self-healing that is needed are things that I talk about in every podcast, in every live stream, in every workshop. Okay, mental emotional discipline is of utmost importance right now. Also, if you are not yet taking supplements, if you're not yet making sure that you have vitamin D levels right around 80 to 90 nanograms per milliliter, if you're not taking, things that can actually help you to detox from all this increased sort of toxicity. All right, if you're not really taking care of your nutrition, if you're not drinking enough water and exercising and sleeping enough, guys, this is your last call. Okay. Your nervous system needs these things to function properly so that you can operate, yeah, so that you can make choices based on your higher expression. Otherwise, you're going to be permanently pulled into your lower expression just due to your body. Okay. So please remember that this requires systematic training. And here, before I forget this, I have 3 spots for the Heart Warrior program available. This is probably also the last call, guys. The Heart Warrior training is the most systematic training that we offer here at transCODES. There's many different courses, programs, online courses, and so forth that I offer, but the Heart Warrior program is probably the most effective one. I have 3 spots available here for December. You can start whenever you want to. It's a 3 months initial program, and then you can continue if you want. It's systematically training your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and etheric energetic energies. True self-connection obviously needs to be nurtured, okay, because it's really, really difficult to understand these interventions if you have no connection with your true self. Yeah. new connections, new support systems are going to form in that sense that we as communities find more together. We're organizing ourselves in new ways, yeah, new organizations, associations, projects, nonprofits, and new communities, self-healing communities are forming. We are constantly trying to increase our reach. We're going to be doing some changes here to our platform so that it is easier for other people to connect with this community, this sacred self-healing community. Financial planning, as I said, is of utmost important. You need to take care of this, and this is not just for December, guys. I mean, it's kind of natural to go into a little bit of an inventory mode toward the end of the year, but this is really for the next 3-4 years. Okay, as a matter of fact, the cycle that we are in right now, this shift that is happening here on the 1st of December, is a cycle that lasts for another 20 years. Okay, so you're basically setting up, if you're my age, yeah, I'm basically setting up my retirement now, and if you are in your early 20s, you're setting up the prime of your life. And well, if you are 7 or 8, you're probably not listening to this, but depending on where you are at your life stage, okay, you are setting yourself up for the next stage. And the beautiful part about this, guys, is that there is a fate-like unraveling of all and everything that you have been going through. So December brings in this uncanny fate development for all of us, where these karmic propensities, these karmic attachments that we all have suddenly all make sense. And you have a choice there. Again, it's in your choosing, all right, to acknowledge it all, to accept it all, and to let it go all at once. It will almost feel like miraculous. Beautiful side of that is that this is also a time where these twin soul relationships, yeah, where these fated souls, okay, that find each other, these relationships that are beyond soulmate. This isn't about soulmate, guys, not how mainstream has transfigured it. This is about two people coming together with a very proper understanding of what unconditional love and lovingness means and what purpose means. Yeah, the purpose of their relationship transcends, yeah, seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. It's there to serve for a greater good, for that overall consciousness development, and that is basically possible in December, guys. All right, yeah. So whatever you think is impossible, it's just a possibility not understood yet. All right. Yes, and so understanding is a big deal here for December, as it forces us to understand life and love in a new way. And all that is indeed a higher potential. We're moving into a higher potential. Important dates here, and these are interventions this month, okay? Starts with the 1st of December. Big announcements, okay? I don't know yet what that's going to look like, but it sounds like obviously related to the whole COVID scare, okay, and lockdowns, flights. All right, things are really going to escalate now. If you thought that it was bad before, it's ramping up. Okay, this is literally steering from the 1st of December to the 31st of December. Yeah, so this is the entire month. All right, is one big escalation. Yeah, with these cosmic events, yeah, the new moon solar eclipse on the 4th, that brings in higher truth, that illuminates, yeah, the dark side of everything, yeah, the underworld, yeah, is fully illuminated. Okay, the dark is out there in the open, guys. You can call it out. those true selves among you who already know the power of that, you guys are going to feel that prompting. Call out the bullshit, call out the dark. Okay, there is a lot of protection in that. New trust will come in here through that, not the calling out the dark, but through this higher truth that is coming in. All right, and unfortunately, this will not feel comfortable at first, because who do you know who likes you know, to look at truth, to be confronted with truth. We have become aware or almost used to being confronted with untruths now. There's a little bit of a desensitization. All right, this now needs to be grounded. Okay, so we need to confront things with truth now, and that is what is going to happen. This will escalate then over the course of a week or so to the 11th of December into government crises, like leaders losing it, like on camera. Okay, yeah, there is. I mean, I've wrote down totalitarianism here as a keyword. I don't know how else to describe it. Despotic, tyrannical stuff. All right, this has to do with the dark feeling so safe right now that it comes out. You see it with your open eyes now. Okay. It also have an effect on the financial markets, on the financial system. Okay, so probably banks gone bankrupt. Yeah, this domino that some of us have experienced before, 2008 and a little bit 2000. Yeah, but 2008 it happened, and we're going to see something similar. It's a little different this time. Yeah, probably triggered by the bond markets. Yeah, a domino that will be very visible for us here on the 15th, 16th of December. On the 19th, when we are heading into the winter solstice or summer solstice, if you are in the southern hemisphere, and we're looking at these amplified full moon energies, this is, well, I mean, it's steering into literally life-changing situations. So there is this staggered, okay, escalation here. 19th, highest level of tension. But tension, if you look at it from an energetic point of view, from a physical point of view, if you will, it's also the moment of highest potential. Yeah, this the strongest resistance between two poles. Okay, and this is the highest potential. So if you let them go, all right, there is this massive, explosive sort of new energy coming out. And yes, on the 20th, you know, that is, I don't know exactly how this is going to play out for each and every life here on this planet. Okay, again, this does not feel apocalyptic. It feels really extremely life-changing, pushing us forward. Yeah, like this nudge, all right, to go forward. Yeah, there's many historical events that have happened in that same way. Yeah, this one event, yeah, that then determined the next 20 years. Yeah, so here to the end of December, there is a cycle, okay, that is being started that is going to accompany us until 2040. And then even further here, as this showdown, yeah, comes in over Christmas, a new cycle, yeah, this explosive event, whatever that is, okay, that is going to affect our way of thinking for the next 40 years, guys. And it's all about value and truth, and becoming independent as individuals, yeah, by seeing this collective individualism, yeah, turning into, yeah, this really seeing ourselves as together, as we, as us. So this can also be misused, and so in January we're going to see a little bit of that misuse, the globalist movements and so forth. I don't want to talk about this right now, but I want you to know that there is a lot of potential, a lot of wonderful things here in this showdown, okay, here for 2021. And those of you who are crypto fans, yeah, we are still in that consolidation as predicted. Yeah, the new cycle isn't starting until January, and you got to be careful now, because as sort of these amounts, these big amounts of money moving into crypto and blockchain, you also are going to lose that sort of advantage of foresight. You will, though, if you did it right, definitely not lose out. You will have lots of gains, but you can no longer speculate. Okay, you're going to have to move on to the next future thing, and this is the part that I am looking forward to, because for me, you know, there's already sort of a new technology, and that technology has nothing to do with money. Yeah, that we are being pushed toward, yeah, that we are exploring now in these next decades. And yeah, so just understand that crypto is, you know, was a great way of making money and stabilizing your financial situation in the past 7 years, but you're now going to have to translate it somehow, invest it into intrinsic things, into real things. All right. Yes. So here, this is from the self-mastery workshop, overcoming fear. Obviously, something that has been accompanying us here for the last year and a half, a year and a half, 2 years. You know, how to get past it, and this is what we teach, obviously, in the Heart Warrior training and all other trainings, really. But in the Heart Warrior training is the most personal of those. Yeah, systematically developing the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, etheric, and energetic discipline to, yeah, not only explore but also manifest your higher potential. Yeah, so the last antidote for 2021, yeah, is true self-intervention. Yeah, so all of this that we have been going through here in 21 is now coming to, well, a showdown. And showdown also means that you now have to apply all of that conscious choice, authenticity, internalization, yeah, but it feels like from within and not from the outside, yeah, not external. Embodiment, harmonizing, inner warmth, clarity, overcoming fear, knowing your purpose, have a good feeling for integrity, for your integrity, and learn through new perspectives. It's all coming together here in December now, yeah, and it will help you to develop a whole new level of self-worth and trust in yourself, and recognizing that you are exactly where you need to be, and that all these doubts that you had in the past, they all turned out just to be fear porn. All right, you followed your true self and it's guided you here, and now you are standing at that moment of decision. So many of you need to overcome fear. Lots of that has to do with tapping into your masculine energies now, into your healthy masculine energies. Yeah. True self-mastery, that's for those of you who are serious about this, yeah, and representing true values, that is a more feminine energy, namely really knowing what matters, what needs to be nourished, what needs to be fed, and what is not worth it, what is not worth it. Yeah, so here then, this miracle of fateful transformation that can lead to beautiful new relationships in your life, new connections in your life. December is not the time for feeding the fakery, the phoniness, and the social media look at meanness. Okay, all that in authenticity will just lead to more confliction in you. this concludes the forecast for 21. Just real quick here for those of you who are not familiar with the programs, starting on the 6th of December, I'm doing something I've never done before that is helping those of you who need a daily energy boost. This is pure energy work for 14 days, yeah, to help you bust through, break through those things that you have already been feeling, okay, that now just need to be translated. Then right on Christmas, I am starting a new energy wellness online course for beginners. Yeah, it's very, very beautiful, small course, and a new centerpiece here of transCODES. So this is a fantastic course for couples and individuals who want to learn how to build relationships based on truth. And for some of us, it's also rebuilding, yeah, a new level of unconditionality in our relationship. So it's very recommendable for couples, yeah, but also for singles, yeah, how to handle these new type of relationships, yeah, with your energetic sensitivity, with your spirituality, with your empathy, all out in the open. And that starts January 19th. So this one is filling up quickly, guys. That would be something, maybe a great Christmas gift. Thank you for being such a loyal audience. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel, to my email list, to pushing the like button, to leaving a comment, for asking questions, for buying me coffees. Yeah, thank you for enriching this community through your presence, your attention. Be assured that there is an impact here of all of that, of our discussions, of our live streams, of our daily sacred selves, our energy prayers, and all these things that we do every day, yeah, to be of service for others day. That impact is much, much bigger than you can see right now. So much bigger. Okay. I wish you a happy transformation. Okay. Just expect the impossible. Expect the improbable. Yeah, look forward to it. Be curious how it's all going to play out, and stay awake. No more autopilot, guys. You can't afford that. Right? Love you. See you very soon. See you tomorrow.